I took a walk one street over from my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except it hurts till it rises to the stage. So they gains of second guessing, I won't forgive the blessings that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, would have kept me from the one I love today.
Good morning.
One street
You are
over
tuned
there's
into
a life I
1100
could have known. Things
WSGI.
aren't always
This
as
is Lee Marie filling in for U-Turn Laverne on One Street Over. She is just coming back from her mission trip in Mexico, so please continue to keep her whole group in your prayers like you have all week. Thank you so much. And speaking of prayer, let's open up in prayer right now. Heavenly Father, thank you. Thank you so much for all the blessings, our families, our friends, this station. Thank you for this show. Take this show where you want it to go. Thank you for our guests today. We just ask for your wisdom, your discernment, your perfect will, your perfect timing, and we thank you. We love you. We praise you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, now we can get things rolling. So, my first guest today is Gina Webb, and she is oh my goodness. Well, first off, I think the most biggest accomplishment is a mom of 10. I mean, that right there, like if you're doing something and you just kind of have it on the background and I say a mom of 10, like that should just make you put everything down and go, I got to listen to this lady. So congratulations on that, because that is a major accomplishment. And you homeschool them all, yes?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to hear about this. And she also is a business owner. She owns Moringa Tree in White House,
Right.
which you've been running for a year now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm so excited to hear your story. I had reached out on Facebook because, I've been getting so many calls and just messages about people that want to homeschool. All of a sudden I said, you know what, we need to get some people that have been doing it on air to kind of help people out. So as a homeschool mom, where would you like to start with this?
I mean, I have no idea. Like we started when my oldest was like in first or second grade, and we
Okay.
pulled her out of like a private school,
Okay.
and we just felt God telling us that this is what we needed to do. And I would say like if God's in the forefront of what you're doing, it's going to work. But if you're
Amen.
kind of doing it for any other reasons, it's hard. It's a really hard road. And so you have to be ready for that challenge. But you have to have your convictions about you and just kind of know you don't have to know what you're doing or anything like that. He'll equip you along the way. But I think definitely just having God calling you to it and following his voice is like key for the whole thing.
That is such a good point, actually, because some of the people that have been reaching out to me, they've been so anxious, and we're not supposed to be anxious for anything. And like you said, the motivation behind it should be first and foremost going to the Lord
Yeah.
and finding out, and he will direct you. You ask for wisdom, he will give it to you if you're listening.
Right.
Now, if you're listening to a whole bunch of other voices,
Yeah. Right. Who's filling your ears? So definitely.
so advice to someone who maybe is just considering it, going to start out maybe this year. What's your advice as a seasoned homeschool mom?
Well, I mean, we started out kind of going to the homeschool conferences just to get resources, get connected, meet other homeschoolers, listen to their stories. So I think getting connected is really helpful. We were in Iowa when we first started, and so there's a couple of really good homeschooling conventions that came through every year. So those are really, I mean, it's great because you can go to like the hall that has all the curriculum in it. So you can kind of leaf through everything before you decide what you want to get. You can listen to lots of speakers that have been doing this for decades, and you can get legal advice, you can get behavioral advice, you can get all kinds of stuff. So definitely get connected and find, a good mentor, I guess, too, in your area. So that is definitely something when we started our homeschool group over 10 years ago, we were doing it to mentor families, and to connect families because it's not a journey you want to do by yourself. It's something you want to do interconnected with a good community
Right.
that's going to come alongside you and encourage you and cheerlead you along, but also that you can invest in other people as well. So.
Now, is your group that you just referred to, is that the co-op? Is that
Right,
what that is?
yeah.
Okay. And what is the name of that?
So it's Grace Christian Classical Cooperative. I think our website's like gcccoop.wordpress.com.
Okay. Grace Christian Classical is the co-op name. Okay. And how many families do you think are a part of that?
I mean, it varies every year, so it just depends on what's going on. But it's not a huge group because obviously we're not in a large location, but it's been anywhere between 10 to 20 families.
Wow.
So just depending on the year and, like I said, what's going on, So this year I think we have 15 families. We just moved to a new location. So I'm excited about that. Last year we had to meet at the library for the whole year because the church that we were meeting at sold. And so they were in the process of getting a new church. And so,
Okay. Now, are most of those families from White House or are they from kind of all over?
yeah, kind of all over. White House is really central. So it's a great location. So we have families that are in like Cottontown or Hendersonville or Springfield so we're kind of all over, just that general area. Within about 20 minutes was my goal. If you can drive somewhere within 20 minutes and get there, that's reasonable. I mean, we have some families that are in like just the border of Kentucky, but yeah, generally, yeah, somewhere in White House.
And then you meet at a church? Okay. And so how often do you meet?
Just once a week. We do it on Tuesdays. Yeah, we thought about doing it more, but there's just so many things that you get into that it's really hard. So ours is more of a just kind of touch base, and we have a tutorial for older kids so that tutorial is just something you can come in and have like everybody's on the same page with their curriculum, or and they have set teachers for like science and English and things, and it gives a really good accountability to those older kids. And we do our science labs together so we make sure we knock out all the high school credits as a community, which is nice. But yeah, and then the little kids, it's more just to hang out and, learn something along the way, but it's mostly for fun and just, relaxed setting and just to encourage the moms too, the young moms that come in, they're, you always want to do it right. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You've got plenty of years to figure it out. It really doesn't count until they get to like high school almost. So give yourself some grace trying to figure out the journey, but yeah.
Okay. And so advice as far as now, are you under a particular umbrella also?
Right. So the rules in Tennessee, each state varies in its, regulations of it, but generally you can either be under an umbrella in Tennessee, or if you have a teaching degree, you can be your own umbrella, I guess. But you have to do standardized testing. So I do have a teaching degree, but I chose to go with an umbrella because I don't want to do standardized testing on first graders, and I just think it's ridiculous. So I don't. So I just use Home Life Academy. I really like them. They're super helpful. I've used them ever since we moved here over 10 years ago. So
now, what are some advantages to Home Life Academy?
well, they don't require testing, which is nice. If you have a large family, they actually cap off at a certain amount. Which is also a benefit when you have a lot of kids. So yeah, they're really helpful for like credits and graduation, and yeah, they're really, really helpful. Like you can message them and they get right back to you about anything. They're in Tennessee. I always see them at the homeschool conventions here.
Oh yes. So speaking of local homeschool conventions, are there any coming up soon or?
I don't know. I quit going to them because I've just,
You already have all
once you've
your
been to
stuff,
them so
yeah.
many times, you're like, okay. But yeah, so I think it's called the Great Homeschool Conventions is one. I think it's in Chattanooga. They did it at Opryland a couple years back. There's like two main groups, I guess, that do the homeschool conventions. And I think they're usually in the spring.
Oh,
So
okay. All right. All right. That's good to know because I know that would be a great resource for
yeah, it's
people.
almost always in the spring, like at the end of the school year. So you can kind of get ready for the next school year, get encouraged for the next school year. So, and get connected or whatever. So it's usually April, probably, I would say about that time that they usually show up.
Okay. And what about, since obviously spring is just passed, yesterday
Yeah.
was the first day of summer.
Right.
Are there any particular like websites or like, YouTube videos or things like that we can, send people to? Are there any sites that are kind of like your go-to site?
So I like HSLDA, which is the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. That's a really good place to plug in and become a member, just to safeguard you in case anything crazy happens. They will fight your case. But it's like $100 for a membership for, I don't remember how long, but we've been a member with them ever since we started. I think it's good to support them too in what they do. And so that's a really good reference. If you go to Home Life, they have lots of announcements and other things on their website too that kind of, just things that are going on and aids they can do. They do seminars. They do, they reach out all the time to educate.
And that was Home Life?
Home Life Academy,
Okay.
I think is just their website.com.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact name of the homeschool conventions, but those are two of my like favorite places that I would check out. And then on our website, on the Grace website, we do have a couple links under the, I think, about page. They kind of describe like we do more of a Charlotte Mason eclectic approach. And so I have links about that and just explaining or what's the classical method and those sort of things. So those links are on our page.
I was looking when I found you. Actually, I was just kind of surfing around, and I found this one. I think it was either Christian homeschoolers or something like that group, and I started reading, and it was like so many great tips. There was somebody who had asked for reading ideas, Christian reading ideas for their senior in high school, and it had like 97 comments,
Yeah.
with pictures and links,
Yes.
for books. And I started screenshotting a whole bunch of it to send these, ideas to other people that I know that aren't even, in homeschool, but that have, kids that age. I thought, oh my gosh, this is a great resource.
Right.
So it seems like there's a lot more kind of Facebook groups that are popping up.
Yes, definitely.
And how supportive everybody is, of each other. Like this one comment, that said, oh, my children were in another state away from me and I'm so behind and I'm so, I don't know what to do. And again, like so many encouraging comments and great, ideas. Are there any other Facebook groups that you kind of can suggest to people?
Yeah, I should have researched before.
Oh, no, that's
But
okay.
when I first started, I was scouring the internet looking for things. So I think just generally putting in your tag words that you're looking for. If you're looking for a Christian group, definitely put that in because there's a lot of secular groups popping up now. So definitely put in whatever specifics that you're looking for. Look in your area too, like put in your city or whatever area that you're at because there's almost always several cooperatives in your area. And so just kind of putting that in the search engine too. I would just be really specific for what you're looking for. If you're looking for a tutorial, then put in tutorial, or if you're just looking for enrichment, like even in White House, we have so many groups, there's probably 5 different types of homeschooling groups just in the White House area.
Wow.
So yeah, we have like classical conversations. You've got the enrichment, classroom over there on, by Nature's Market and on 31W. There's several others that just moms have put together. There's some right in Hendersonville. They have like really good tutorials that are more for college bound students, and they do really good like higher up AP chem and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it seems like there's so much that are just popping up. Even, I had looked a couple weeks ago for someone, and then, a few days ago, and I'm like, this group wasn't here before. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're just like
There's a lot.
really popping up.
Definitely.
Okay, well, it's 1:15, so I'm going to run our first break. And then I did want to say that if you, after the fact, if you think of a group or whatever, just go ahead and put it in the comments. Or if you are listening out there and you say, hey, this is a great group I would recommend, you can always go on our Facebook feeds and leave that comment anytime. It doesn't have to be during the show. So that is just an option for you. All right, well, let's go and hear Laverne's voice, who I'm sure you guys are all missing by now.
Barry and Rebecca Richards are with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Now, what does that mean for you? That means you got a great team that's going to come to the table with you, whether you're buying or selling, or maybe you want to be mentored to be a realtor yourself. They would love to bring you in and make you part of the family, whether it be you're looking for a full-time change or just want to do something part-time. Now, if you're coming to the table as somebody that's selling, you've got to consider get one chance to make a first impression. Barry's going to make sure you make that first impression absolutely perfectly. He is a Zillow certified photographer, licensed and insured drone pilot. Can do the 360-degree virtual reality home tours. We'll get you up on Realtor.com. People are going to see your property. They're going to want to take a second look. Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, which illustrates she studies all the time, staying up to date on what she needs to know to properly represent you. You can find them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or BUYRobertsonCounty.com, or just give Becky a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and always tell them U-Turn sent you.
Oh, right. We're back in studio, and we have Gina here, who is a homeschool mom of 10, as well as a business owner. And she's got some great advice. They have a really wonderful homeschool group happening out in White House called Grace Christian Classical. And so we've been hearing about that. Is there anything else that you want to cover on homeschool stuff before I ask you about your business?
Right. I mean, we could talk about homeschool forever. But yeah, I mean, if people have questions, they can always reach out to me too. And we do have several moms in our group that are veteran homeschoolers that have graduated all their children, and they're happy to sit down and just have coffee and talk with you about any questions. Like one of my best friends, she's awesome. She just graduated her last kid of 5. And so she just comes into our co-op just to help. And she just feels a calling just to be there to just encourage everybody. So she teaches our English class for us. But yeah, just definitely reach out and don't be shy. Just kind of find somebody that's been doing it for, a couple of decades, and you'll be good.
And also I wanted to say that I would love to bring some more of these homeschool parents on my show, on the Go Show, to give advice and stuff. So if you know of some people that aren't shy to be on camera and such,
definitely
send them my text. You got my number, because I would love to just sprinkle that in, even if they could only come in for like 15 minutes on a Wednesday morning.
Sure.
Because I know that there's just constant new information and new resources, and as things get crazier in the world, there's going to be, I think, a lot more homeschool.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay. All right. Well, that is great information. And I did want to also make sure that I talk about your business, because I didn't even know about that until, a couple days ago. And I went on the website. I'm like, oh, this is my kind of place. I wish it was closer to me. But still, I have plans to go to White House. Matter of fact, I think we're going Friday. Matter of fact, I want to tell you all this because I mentioned it yesterday and I didn't know where it was. Friday at 6:30, the church at Grace Park is doing a free fish fry and all that. And so, invite some people maybe who don't have a home church yet. So that is this Friday at 6:30 p.m., absolutely free. And I did post that on my Facebook page as well as on the link from yesterday's show, because I started to mention it and I'd only written down 6:30 Friday and I didn't know what else there was. So I posted it on the other Facebook feed. So yeah, maybe I'll try to go there early to go to your store.
Sure.
So what tell us about your store, like how it started and the hours and
Sure. So we have it's an organic restaurant, so we're all organic, which is really important to us, that we don't have any chemicals or pesticides or any trash in our food. There's a lot of healthy foods out there, and it's just sad when, you have a salad or whatever, but it's got all kinds of chemicals on it, then what's the point, So, we started on a health journey probably 19, 20 years ago when one of my fourth kid, was vaccine injured. And we decided that we weren't going to go the Western medical route anymore. And I was going to heal him. And so we did. God absolutely healed him. He's 100% today, and just graduated actually. So yay for him. But yeah, so God led us on a path of just like healing our family naturally through our food, through herbs, through just, anything that he put in the earth, And so we'd already been on a healing path for quite a while. And then my sister actually opened the first moringa tree about 10 years ago in Elkhart, Indiana.
Oh.
So, and she didn't have any kids or anything at the time when she opened. She'd been in the hospitality industry for years. And so she just, after our brother passed away, she wanted to get a place where people could go to help themselves to heal. He passed away from leukemia and didn't have any natural support. He went the Western route and died within a year. And so it was just kind of a really tragic loss for our family, and just kind of a real, it really did a wake up call for our whole family. And so my sister changed her entire lifestyle. She started listening to me about health, and I taught her everything I could teach her about, real food and just herbs and everything. And then she started up the restaurant, and so that's been our goal, is just to help people to have a place to come where if you know nothing about real food, you don't know anything about, natural health, like you can come in there and you can have a burger and it's going to be the best burger, and it's actually going to be good for you because it's completely organic. Everything we do, even we bake our sourdough in house. We do sprouted grains for like the buns, even on the burger. So I'm really intentional about the processing of our food, like making sure that it's traditional, and that we're unlocking all of the nutrients in everything that we provide for people. But also a key part of that is making sure there's no junk in it and supporting local farmers. So we do have a big local farmer plug that we do. We just, all of our meat farmers are local. As much produce as we can get in season is local. And they're organic farmers. They're beyond organic farmers, people who are intentional about stewarding the earth the way God intended, treating the animals correctly, treating the earth correctly, revitalizing the soil. So these are really great farms. And so we're really big on pushing people towards finding their food locally. Because when things shut down, if you don't know who's producing your food, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? And so another part of our mission is to kind of be a lighthouse for people to find, people that are growing the food. But then also we can, we want to teach you how to replicate that in your own community, finding your farmers and making your own food and just sourcing your own medicine, So these skills are so important.
And do you have some videos also on that website that kind of, here's a problem. I think that some people don't know that they don't know. They think that they're eating food and they don't realize
Right, I
what
have no
is
idea.
in it.
Yeah.
Even vegetables, because the soil is so depleted, they think, oh, I'm, choking down all this stuff that's great for me, but they have no idea.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the microbial health of the soil is so important. So that's why doing organic, and not just organic label, like you get the organic label because you don't know your farmer. So if I'm going to Kroger or whatever, and I don't know who raised this kale, at least I have a label that says they can't use certain types of pesticides and glyphosate that causes cancer on my food. So, but if you don't have that label, there's nothing to tell you how they raised that food. And so again, going to your local farmer or even the farmers markets and talking to your farmers and saying, how did you raise this? What kind of chemicals do you use? What kind of feed do you use? These sorts of things are so important to know about. And the more people are asking for transparency in the food industry, the more it'll have to change, because the food industry is all run by money. You know what I mean? So if you're not buying into this industry, it has to change. And that's the beauty of, kind of the free market that we have going here, is that as long as the government doesn't prop up that business, it'll have to change or it's not going to work. And so I think as just more people are asking questions and looking into these disgusting secrets of the food industry, you know what I mean, that they'll you don't just go to a restaurant and just because you don't have an ingredient label doesn't, you know what I mean? You want to know what's in your food. And so we're really transparent about what's in our stuff. Almost everything is organic or organically sourced, or we know the source. And so we know it's clean.
So you're not only supplying things, but you also have a restaurant, right there?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can buy some things. It's mostly a restaurant.
Okay, mostly a
Yeah. And then we do have we'll sell our duck eggs or, things like that, or, a few items, but and then we do have, our extracts, and we make superfoods and herbal teas and stuff. So we do have all those as well. But our main thing is just getting people in the door with food, because everybody's got to eat. And so if you can get somebody hooked on, your salad can taste amazing, or your tacos can actually be healthy and taste awesome, then, we can kind of go from there. We do workshops once a month. Almost all of my social media posts I try to do are educational. I don't just do it to promote our business. I do it more to educate people. I'm just a teacher at heart. So I'm always trying to let everybody know what's going on with, like last post I did was on quinoa, I'm just talking about like the health benefits of it and why we put it in our food. And so I'll usually highlight either superfood or just different ingredients or a local farmer. But I'm just really into educating people and spreading the word about, getting into the food industry and making it change.
Awesome. Wow. Well, I definitely am going to want to have you back because, you're one of my kind of people. Have you heard of the Wild Doc yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good. Because we have him on every first Friday of the month.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's fun.
Oh, goodness. So
he's a
you
great
guys would
guy.
get along great.
Oh, yeah. I've met him before. We were at an event together one time. I've heard him speak at a couple of rallies, but yeah, he's a great guy. Good voice for change and for what's
And
right.
you guys are, I love when I find people that I like and I believe, and they both just like are right there saying the same exact stuff.
Yeah. I mean, truth is truth no matter, where you go. So, it resonates, if you're looking for truth and you hear it, it doesn't matter what field it's in. There's truth in, like we said, food. There's truth in health. There's truth in farming. There's truth in everything, and so just finding those people who are speaking it out, it resonates with you, it makes you stronger. It makes you like, yeah, I need to be on, It pulls towards you. So I think definitely.
And we can't be afraid to speak the truth, no matter
Exactly.
if people are getting offended or people
that
are,
always
getting
happens.
mad at us, because that happens.
It definitely does. You definitely get slammed. But you
But
just
anytime
can't help
you come,
it.
anytime you come against the current system, you're gonna run
get
into
it.
problems
Yeah.
with those that are in the power.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Oh, definitely,
Really, it's just worth it to get the truth out and just to. It doesn't matter. I don't, I've never been one to go with the mainstream. So obviously I have 10 kids. So it's like, people are always like, what? But
Now, what are the age ranges from the youngest to the oldest of the 10
some of
kids?
my oldest is 24, my youngest is 7. So about every 2 years, and they're all awesome. I've graduated 4 kids now and there's 6 more to go.
Wow, that is awesome. I was talking to my husband last night. I was telling him about you and the 10 kids. He said, "Oh, ask her if they're like the Van Trapp family, where everybody lines up." And
Well, because of the ages, they are. Although the oldest one's now like my third child is actually taller than my second one, but in general, and then my first is a girl, and so she's shorter than the boys. But yeah, when they were all still growing, everybody was like, in a line. So cute.
yeah, I have to ask, do you have to use like the color coded method? Like, okay, all of your stuff is purple, all this stuff is yellow. No?
Wow. We did that in my family. We had 5 kids in my family growing up, and I was always yellow. But we don't do anything because I don't use a lot of plastic.
Oh,
and so
yeah, that's right.
so most things are glass. And so you just have your random jar, for your water or whatever.
Yeah. And I saw your jar and when I came in, I said, very good. You're drinking out of glass.
Always like some recycled something.
So, and that I'm glad you brought up plastic because that was actually the last thing that Wild Doc had kind of just talked about briefly the last time he was on. And I thought, I'm going to have him elaborate on that. Do you want to say a little bit about plastic?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Plastic's huge. Plastic has totally shifted the hormonal components in our children in the oceans, like they're finding in the oceans, like fish are developing all kinds of reproductive parts like together that are not natural. Like, and so plastics are just, I mean, it's such a bane on our society. It really is. But I mean, if we can get away from it as much as possible and try to use more glass or steel or other items, and just stop buying so many things in plastic, people would stop using it. You know what I mean? It's just a supply demand type thing. I know it's cheap, but it definitely changes like your hormonal composition. And so, yeah. And even just getting like the BPA free or whatever, that's just one step. Like it's still, pretty toxic. I mean, think about how much plastic people throw away and it's just sitting in our landfills or just gets into the ocean and all of that. It takes years and years. I mean, some of it doesn't even hardly break down. And so I don't know. I hate plastic.
And then it gives off like gases, right? That are not
the whole
healthy
time.
to be breathing.
Right. Well, not in that, but you're killing the microbes in the soil. So if we kill the microbes in the soil and we don't have the good, flip over there, then you're not having the nutrients, you're not having all of the good guys that keep the bad guys in check, and then you have all these crazy superbugs that happen because all the good guys have been eradicated or not fed well, or they're just being choked out. And so I think just overall, like we're only going to be as healthy as our soil is, honestly, so and everything else stems from that. So, I mean, we were dirt. We're going back to dirt. Like,
yeah. So is your house, do you just really, is it almost plastic free?
We really do try. I mean, even in the things that I buy for like the house, like I try to buy, real wood or, just, I try not to buy laminate flooring or just anything, I try to go with real materials for pretty much anything in our house. And glass, yeah, it gets broken a lot. But I'd rather do that than, recycling. Most of your recycling doesn't even actually get recycled. So people are like, well, at least I'll just put it in the recycle bin. Well, if you look at the recycling industry, most of it doesn't even get used. A lot of it just gets thrown out.
That was a lie just to make
so
people
sad. Feel better. Yeah, exactly. Just to make you feel better,
So that's a great tip, y'all. See, her water right there is in a jar. And I know that plenty of you use jars all the time. And then you throw them away. And then you go to the store and you buy the little plastic leftover, things.
Yeah.
Well, just start keeping your jars for your leftovers. You
can put salads in them. You can put your drinks in them. Yeah, there's so many containers that you can reuse for all kinds of purposes. Like our kids, our lunch boxes or whatever. You can just have different, like, small containers that were glass, like jelly jars or things like that. I don't know. Some of us get a little too far with our collections.
No, but that's great. That's great. Because I always thought there should be someone that's like, how healthy is your house? They go in and they just point out, well, you should replace that with that and that and that.
Definitely. Yeah. We could go room through room and just, go through each item.
That could be an added feature that you have on your...
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. Right.
I don't have time, but I would love to have somebody come, do that.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot. And it's things you don't even think about. Like even your toothbrush, like you have to change out your toothbrush. There's great if you can get just a bamboo toothbrush instead,
Which I have been seeing a lot lately. So things are starting to catch on.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm inspired now.
All the things you can switch out.
Okay, Wild Doc, if you're watching, that is our next topic for the first Friday of July. Well, Gina, it has been such a pleasure to meet you, and I wish you all the best, and I hope to have you back real soon. Yeah, sure. I know you need to go because you got kiddos to get to VBS.
Yeah,
right?
We have VBS this week.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks again for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And you guys can reach out to her if you want at the Grace Christian Classical.
Yeah, or stop by the cafe.
Oh, yeah, stop by the cafe, which is, give them the address.
Right. So we're at 317 on Highway 76 in White House. We're on the main drag, right down the road from Kroger. We're in an old house. So we took a 1960s house and flipped it. So don't be thrown off. It's got a bunch of gardens in the front, and it's a green old house that we transitioned over. But yeah, stop by. We're open from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Friday, we're open until 7 p.m. So we do dinners. And then on Saturday, we're 10 to 7. So we have take and bake pizzas. You can come by and order a pizza to go. We have premium food delivery and Uber Eats if you need it delivered to you. So.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. All right. We are going to make a changeover to our next guest. So while we do that, let's hear from U-Turn Laverne.
Robertson County, it is time to join the Gig Club. Get Cumberland Connect. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, well, good news. You can join me in the Gig Club, and you can have a full gig for just $80, high-speed internet that will blow you away. If you're like me and you've had terrible internet service for far too long, well, it's time to get in the Gig Club. Now, what you do is you go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your zip code, cumberlandconnect.org, and it'll tell you if they're in your neighborhood already or when they're going to be in your neighborhood. You can also just call them and ask the question, 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. And if you're somebody in these areas, if you're a Cumberland Electric customer and you're having some financial struggles, well, because internet is now a utility, there's an affordable connectivity program providing qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. And they have packages starting at, you guessed it, $30 per month. Be a part of the Gig Club or just get into high-speed internet with Cumberland Connect. CumberlandConnect.org. Tell them U-Turn sent you.
Okay, and we are back on One Street Over. This is Lee Marie filling in for U-Turn Laverne, who will be back on Monday. And now, of course, since it is Thursday and it is 7:30, well, after 7:30, thanks for being patient there. We have Tiffany from the United Way to give us the United Way update. So what you got?
Good morning, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's I don't know. Well, I shouldn't say we have a lot of stuff going on. It's summer, so it feels like a lot of stuff, but we also have a lot of plans going on, with kids being out of school. And I know like UT Extension last 2 weeks, my kids have participated in their summer camp program. And anyway, they're doing some amazing things. And Clarissa Gardner's over that. I don't know if you know her, but she's been taking them all over the place. And they created food trucks. They had like 4 teams and they each created a food truck. So the first week was like planning a food truck, applying for a business license. And then they cooked these meals and had the Chamber of Commerce come and do like ribbon cuttings for each one of the food trucks. And they had to learn how to like apply for a business license. And anyway, it's been really cool to see what some of the things people are doing to come around our children during the summer. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, is that part of that all children farmers market that I saw? Did you see that?
No. But my kids, when we lived in Utah, my kids participated in that. And it's a really neat program. I don't know how big it will be here this first year. But I remember we were making candles and lip balm and all sorts of stuff for weeks building up to that. We probably participated in that in 2019, I want to say. And it's a pretty cool thing. I think people should go support that if they can. Isn't that next Saturday?
I think so. I was trying to find it real quick.
like
It's at the Robertson County Fairgrounds, I believe.
Oh, I think it's July 8th. Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to remember why we didn't do it this year, and that was one of the reasons why that's a busy weekend for us. But yeah, it's at the Robertson County Fairgrounds during the normal farmers market, is my understanding. And so go to the farmers market, but go and support those entrepreneurs. I don't know who is participating or what they're doing, but I know like my friends, their kids did it also, and we had like people making bread, and one of my kids made paracord bracelets like for a month, and we had so many, and then we got put like at the back of the thing. There were like hundreds of kids participating, and so anyway, I felt bad, but so go and spend your money at lots of different booths, because those kids have worked hard to participate in that. So I'm not involved in that, but I should be. I've got a lot of kids. So one of the things we have coming up with United Way is we have a Stuff the Bus. Now, the Robertson County does Stuff the Bus too. And they legit put a bus out in front of Walmart, and they stuff it, and those supplies go to classrooms and teachers. And that is worthy, and we definitely support it. But United Way of Greater Nashville does a Stuff the Bus program, and it's a little bit different. We actually put together backpacks to go to the kids for them to take to school with them. And so we have an opportunity right now it's like $10. If you donate $10, you put together a backpack. Or you can drop by the supplies for the backpacks to my office and we'll put the backpack together. So if you're like, I'm not going to put together, buy something of each thing, but I'll go buy 10 boxes of crayons or whatever. You can bring that by and we'll put those together. So that is coming up. Got all the things. I'm like, I brought up it's through July 18th. So now through July 18th, we're accepting donations. You can just donate money too. If you go to United Way, I'm like, what is our website? United Way Greater Nashville. There is a link to either you can host a collection drive. So this is a great opportunity for businesses to come together and like do it in their place of business. They all get together and do a collection drive, or you can also just donate money and we'll go and we'll leverage that money with some of our wholesalers and we'll buy all the things. So it costs about $10. The Titans donate all the backpacks. And so, in fact, we'll have some Titan members helping us pack up the backpacks, and they'll be at some of our giveaways. So our footprint is like very large right now. And so I don't know. I'm hoping we're going to get some Titan players to come to our giveaway, but I don't really know. And we're partnering with Chosen. They do a back to school block party, and we're partnering with them this year. And that's where we're going to be distributing the backpacks. And so I'm super excited about that.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. So,
all right, let's do one more break right here while we have a moment, and then we can hear the rest. We have Tiffany on from United Way, and now you're going to hear Laverne.
Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gibson Gardening Center, your one stop for everything you need for summer, for your yard, for your garden, beautiful things for your porch and your home, great gift ideas. If you've got a gift that you need, go into the greenhouse, you're going to find something alive and beautiful, and then go into the office, go into the gift shop, and there you're going to find handcrafted items, some really cool stuff from Miss Jane, and you're going to find Robertson County CBD. CBD produced from plants grown right here in Robertson County by Amy's brother Bill. Those plants were grown by him, and that is processed into the products you find there at Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. I swear by them for my arthritis problems, and it may really be a game changer for you as well. Everything you need, if you've got questions and things that you just want to run by Amy, give her a call at 615-384-3185 or just stop by and see her at 4920 Highway 161. They're at the Farmers Market every week as well, and they're 9 to 5 right now, Monday through Saturday, 1 to 4 on Sunday. Got a vegetable garden that's going to be coming in anytime with fresh vegetables and produce. Go and see them today. Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Tell them U-Turn sent you. Robertson County, it is time.
Okay, and yes, that was U-Turn Laverne, and no, she is not here, but she will be back on Monday. Thanks for your prayers for her and her mission trip in Mexico, and we're excited to hear all about that. I'm sure she'll be telling us all about that on Monday, so be sure to tune in for that. All right, so we have Tiffany here from the United Way giving their usual 7:30 Thursday weekly update, and I know it's summer, so there's not like a ton of stuff but I'm sure you got some other stuff you want to tell folks about.
Absolutely. One of the coolest things is it was 3 years because of COVID, but like about every 2 to 3 years, United Way has a new funding cycle. And so new agencies get a chance to apply for funding. And so this last year, we were able to adopt some new agencies. One of the requirements, you have to be a 501c3 for 3 years. And so, but we were able to bring into the, and it's one of those things that's like, once you start getting funded with United Way, unless you really mess up, you stay funded with United Way or something happens to us. But it's kind of hard to get in. And this year we've been able to expand our footprint in Robertson County as we're growing and more people are supporting United Way. So we are able to help support my father's house and Redemption Ranch. And I'm trying to think of all of our new ones. Isaiah 117. We've been able to bring on some new ones. And so I'm excited to now add them into our report. So Redemption Ranch right now has got a need for a grant writer. So if anybody knows a grant writer, please send them Redemption Ranch's way. They're looking to expand and to be able to support their mission. They are doing amazing things. If you don't know anything about Redemption Ranch, you should have Hannah on the show, but they bring kids in that are, any kid needs nature and animals. And so they bring them in, and it's a therapeutic program for these kids to have their hands on the animals, they learn how to grow food, they learn how to take care of animals. And they've noticed huge therapy benefits for these children that might be struggling. A lot of times animals can be a way for kids to release some of their feelings and build resiliency. And
that's just a good, thing for everybody,
right, go get an animal.
Yeah. If you're a little bit down today, just go outside and pet some animals and do some yard work, and you really do get your spirits lifted.
Absolutely. I've got a dog that's expecting puppies, so we're gonna have puppy therapy at our house before too long. But anyway, so they not only do they need a grant writer, they're really in need right now of some hay. So I think they need 2 round bales, and I can't remember how many rectangle bales. Can you tell I'm not a farmer? Anyway, but so if you can help donate to the feeding of the animals that these kids are helping take care of, that would be fantastic. And so we're so excited to have Redemption Ranch as a partner and be able to help amplify their voice in the community. So that's awesome. Another thing, we have CASA is one of our partners. They have a fundraiser coming up July 30th. It's a kickball tournament, and we're going to do it on Father's Day, but I think a lot of families have traditions and stuff, so it wasn't a go for them, so they rescheduled for July 30th. So this is a great opportunity for businesses to get a team together, for extended families to get a team together, for whoever to get a team together.
How many people do they need for a team?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Brian, if you're listening, put it on the comments.
I know. I'm like, or Leah, if you're, or anybody involved with it. I don't know much about kickball, so I don't know how much. I'm guessing you probably need 5 or 6 people. I'm like, it would be like baseball, right? How many?
Well, yeah, I didn't know if it was like a 9, like a baseball diamond. If it's
on
a diamond.
Yeah, they are doing it. I think at the baseball diamond. So yeah,
Right, then it might be in like 9.
Okay, so 9. We'll say.
Who knows?
We'll say that. How about you and I decide? I don't know exactly how many needs to be on the team, but if you want to find out, you can reach out to Leah Blocker. She is the executive director of CASA, and her email address is casaofrobertsoncounty@gmail.com. I'm trying to remember. I worked for CASA for a while, and I'm blanking a little bit.
That's
but
all right.
yeah.
It's early. It's not even 8 o'clock yet.
If you need to get a hold of anybody that are our partners, you can always reach out to me, Tiffany Thompson. My phone number is 615-780-2511. Again, that's 615-780-2511. And my email address is tiffany.thompson, no P in my last name, THOMSON at United Way, GN.org. It is really early this morning.
No worries.
I'm not normally this tired, but last night United Way treated us to a Sounds game. And so I was out late last night with my kiddos watching the Sounds lose, but it was still fun. It was a lot of fun. So we had a good time with that. Anyway, so let's see, what else do we got going on in the nonprofit world? It is a good time.
While you look that up, I'm going to run the last ad, so
You do
y'all get
that.
to hear from Laverne one more time.
It's time to go to the races here in Robertson County. If you want to have a great time with your family, get out to Veterans Motorplex. This is the old Highland Rim Speedway you're familiar with at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Jerry wants to invite you and your entire family out. He's even got a free pass for you. If you find one of these Let's Talk Trash magazines that they put out at the end of the school year, you can still find them around town. But that back page is a free pass to get up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for free anytime during the entire 2020 2023 race season. Bring your family out. Gates open at 4. Racing starts up at 6, and you will have so much fun. Come hungry. They got a great concession stand. They have all kinds of events and things for the kids throughout the race season. Follow them on Facebook at Highland Rim Speedway, and that way you can stay up to date on everything that's going on at Veterans Motorplex. A great way to spend your Saturday evening with your kids, with your family, with your friends through the end of October. Get to the races today. Saturday is race day, and when you go out, tell them U-Turn sent you. Corbin Creek Greenhouse.
Okay, and we just have about 8 or 9 minutes left to one street over for today. We have Tiffany from the United Way joining us. Did you happen to find out how much hay they need over at Redemption Ranch?
I did. Okay, so they need 5 round bales of horse quality hay and 60 square bales of hay. So if you have any
60 or 60?
60, yeah, 60. So if you have any resources either on hay or you would like to donate financially to that cause, then reach out to Hannah Korn, and you can reach out via Facebook, or you reach out to me and I'll get you connected with
Maybe
her.
they could just go by and take some hay, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Where are they located?
They are out in the country, as you would imagine. I don't know exactly what their address is. I have been out there, but it was like this little, road out in the country. Their address isn't on here. So
Okay, that's
I'm
right.
sure
They can
it's
look
not
on Facebook. And
Yeah,
find
they
it.
can absolutely. But reach out to Hannah Korn. So she's she also works at the UT Extension office. So if you want to reach out to her there too, you can probably find her. So, but they're doing amazing things, and so. And also our other new partner, My Father's House, they are doing showers. I know they did it last Thursday night. They had showers and a meal. And I have some friends that are homeless and really appreciated that. It's one of those things you don't think about when people are trying to get back on their feet and work, and they don't have access to a shower or a hot meal. They're living out of I have a friend right now who's living out of his car, and he's like messaging me, where can I get a shower so I can go to work? He doesn't want to go to work and smell bad or feel gross. And so they're doing that. The Main Street Church of Christ is also doing showers. And I know there are other places that will open up their shower that they have at their place of business or whatever. So if you know of anybody that's looking for a shower, have them reach out to me and we'll help find a place for them to get clean. Right now, we have got a huge population of people that are unhomed here in Robertson County, and that population is only growing bigger as Nashville's getting saturated. People are losing their homes. It's really hard to get into a home right now. There just isn't enough affordable housing for our working even for those that are working. I think a lot of people think homelessness is for people who aren't working or people who are experiencing addiction or those types of things. But our homeless population is really starting to grow, with people just really not having the thousands of dollars it takes to get into a home. And it's hard to save that up when if you have to rent a hotel room or you have to pay for car stuff or whatever. It's really hard to save up the thousands of dollars. And if you have bad credit on top of that, forget it, because it's so competitive to get into a home right now that they're going to pick somebody with better credit. I mean, that's just as an investor, that's, a smart way to look after your investment. And so it's a really difficult problem right now. And if you want to know how to help pitch in with those that are unhomed, please reach out to me. I have people coming into my office almost every day, at least every week, hungry, in pain, needing a doctor's appointment, wondering where they can take a shower, wondering what they can do. And anyway, we really need as a community to come around this and to support those. This is a Christian radio station, so I don't mind saying, these are God's children that are hungry and searching for some solace, and Christ gives us the mission to look after his children that are homeless. And so anyway, that's one of the things that has been heavy on my heart right now, as I've watched I've become really good friends with a lot of people that are experiencing homelessness, and just watching their daily struggle. and how hard it is. So that's something that I'm always going to put a plug in for for our friends. And we're so excited that my father's house has now been a 501c3 long enough to be a partner with United Way. And we hope to help continue to grow that here in Robertson County. It right now is 100% volunteer ran. They can't do anything without people just doing it out of the goodness and kindness of their heart. So even opening up the night for showers, they need people to come watch the showers, make sure nothing happens. You're not watching people take a shower. Let me be clear on that. You're just watching the coming and going and making sure that people are safe. Some of these people are medically fragile. They're living on the streets and they're medically fragile, making sure that that you would hear if they slipped or fell in the shower or whatever. And so when they need people to check people in and out, they need people to monitor the showers, and they need people to help bring in food and to do a devotional, lift up spirits while people are there. Anyway, so that is a great need in our community, something that we really need to try to figure out as our community grows. I can't remember what Ryan Martin said. This new development is going to be like 400 acres of a new development that's going in. That's going to expand our population heavily, and we need to be able to be prepared to accept all of these fellow humans coming into our community, and how are we going to support and love and strengthen each other. And so that's kind of a lot of the things that are on my heart and mind right now, is how do we come around each other? How do we unify? I mean, that's our brand at United Way, is to be unified with one another. And so we want to make sure that anybody who has the needs that they're getting, especially our mental health needs, we've got a lot of those, and that's just getting worse and worse every day. That we need to support one another in our mental health struggles. And so,
All right, so I did look up Redemption Ranch.
Okay, you got the
and
address?
I did yes, I do have the address. It's 5229 Jones Chapel Road in Cedar Hill. So 5229 Jones Chapel Road, Cedar Hill. And then I see that they have a fundraiser coming up in September we need to save the date on.
Oh, yes.
So that is Saturday, September 16th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Live music, food and drinks, let's see, horse rides, silent auction. So yeah, I'm sure they're probably starting to collect those silent auction items right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they're looking for sponsors too. So reach out to Hannah. It is one of those things that we're talking about, the mental health struggles that we're having in our community, and we're talking about homelessness. This is a way to get that prevention. And when we're helping children be more resilient and help them work through their issues as children, they don't experience some of the things that those who didn't get that are experiencing. And one of the other things with homelessness is we're seeing an aging population that we never saw before. A lot of times it was people that had addiction or whatever. Now it's people who had a retirement, had things saved up, and then our economy has made it so difficult to be able to afford even housing. They thought they had enough money saved for a retirement or whatever, and they didn't. And we're finding the elderly in a really bad homeless situation, which also they're experiencing medical issues, as we all do as we get older, Anyway, so I just really feel like pouring into our children. That's one of the missions of the Robertson County Prevention Coalition, which is what I'm a part of. And one of our big missions is to prevention for drugs and alcohol is a two-part thing. It's connection and it's education. So we want to go out, we want to teach about the harms and the dangers and the lures of addiction, but we also want to make sure the kids are connected to people, that they have people that care about them. We live in a day and age that even kids that are growing up in a good home, the parents are so can be tuned out. We can all have these screen addictions, which are really messing with our children's ability to feel connected to humans. And so, and they don't have the same connections with their peers as I did growing up, because we've got screens in front of our faces and we think it's connection and we're craving it. And so we go to our phone because it's easy and we miss out on true connection. And so those kids are going to get that at Redemption Ranch. So screens are put away and they're hands-on with horses and stuff. And so anyway, there's a lot of good things going on in Robertson County.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We are at the end, so we will have to close. So I'm going to close with a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for our show. Thank you for our guests. Thank you for all this information, how we can just be better in our community and better to our families, to ourselves. Just guide us today. Give us your wisdom, your discernment. We thank you for your perfect will, your perfect timing. We love you. We praise you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right, I will be back tomorrow for one street over, and then of course Laverne will be back on on Monday. So join me tomorrow at 7 a.m. for One Street Over. You've been listening to 1100 WSGI. Make it a great day, and God bless.
One beyond my wildest dreams.